today, I just thought to keep things, well, it sounds simple, but it's never really so simple. What we'll work with today is breath. And so for all of you that have done yoga, you'll be very familiar with this part of the practice. And so we use breath really as a way of hooking us into the present moment. So when you're practicing that focus on your breath through a full 55 minutes, that in itself is a form of meditation, and that's what's known as Anapanasati. And so today with breath, every time that you notice your mind wandering from your breath and that sensation that you've got moving in and out of your nose, just take that as an opportunity to come back, and don't be harsh on yourself. Your mind will absolutely wander, and that is going to happen. And every time that you notice, just keep coming back. And so as we move through our flow today, we will use breath with doing inhales and exhales through your nose. And I really just encourage you all to try and slow down your breath as you're moving. Trying to make each breath last until you arrive in your pose, and then I'll be cueing as we go as well. Cool. So making your way onto your mats, hit play on the playlist there, and we'll get started. Awesome. So we're going to start in a child's position today. So making your way onto your mat. And if you'd like to pin me on the screen so that I am nice and big for you to see, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So starting off in a child's position with wide legs, so big toes to touch, knees out wide, and then walking your hands down in front of you. Forehead comes down to the earth. And as you arrive in your child's position here, taking a few moments to check in with what the natural rhythm of your breath is here before we get started. Is it slow and steady, or is it maybe a little more rapid, shallow, maybe up in the chest, ribs? I'm not judging whatever the texture of breath or the rhythm of breath is, but just observing. Using that as a reference point as we move through class, seeing how that shifts and changes. Beginning to bring your awareness to the feeling of your breath moving in and out of your nostrils. The temperature a little cooler as you breathe in, a little warmer as you breathe out. Noticing how it feels as you fill your belly, and then filling your lungs, your ribs moving sideways, back of the heart space lifts. Slowly breathing out. Inhale belly, inhale rib cage, exhale. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. One more time, in for 3. Out for 3. Now walking your hands over to the right side of your mat, but keeping your hips sitting on top of your heels, taking your left palm on top of your right, and coming into a lateral stretch down your left side of your body. And so pressing left hip down onto your heel to keep them nice and balanced, both hips balanced and grounded. Take an inhale. And then reach a little further by pressing your left hand into the ground as you breathe out. And your inhale coming back through center, and then walking your hands over to the other side. So this time we take our hands over to the left, right hand on top of left. And breathing into your right side body, feeling your fascia, that outer casing of your body, start to stretch, start to open. Maybe if you've been sitting at a desk all day, it can get a little tight. One more breath in. Reach and pressing the right hand down as you breathe out. And coming back through center and walking yourself up to a seated position. And so coming to sit on your heels. As you take an inhale, reaching your arms up overhead. And bringing your hands down to heart center, palms come to touch as you breathe out. And then reaching your hands back up to the sky, inhale. We'll cactus our arms, exhale. So we take our elbows wide and come into two right angles, really nice. Reach back up, breath in. Hands to heart center, exhale. Lift on up, breathing in. And cactus, your arms, elbows wide, shoulder blades squeeze together. Reach back up, inhale. Hands come to heart center, breath out. We'll take that one more time, reaching on up, breathing in through your nose. And cactus arms as you exhale, shoulder blades squeeze. And reach on up for the in. Nice, hands to touch at heart center, breath out. And making your way into your tabletop. So your hands come in front of you towards the top edge of your mat, hands stacked underneath shoulders, and knees are stacked underneath hips. Cat-cow is what we'll move into. So dropping the belly, lifting the chest as your shoulder blades squeeze together again and taking your gaze slightly forward. Draw your chin to your chest, press into your hands and start to dome through your back. A really even curve the whole way along your spine as we take it into our cat. Inhale, coming back into cow, tailbone lifts. Heart space reaches forward between biceps. And then beginning to move into cat, drawing chin to chest. Press the ground away to spread shoulder blades and a slight tuck of tailbone. One more time. Inhale, coming into your cow. Exhale, we curve into cat. Come back to a neutral tabletop. And then extending your right toes to the back of your mat. We come into a three-legged tabletop. Then lifting the right leg to hip height. Bend right knee and start to press your right foot up towards the ceiling. So notice how this one, if you squeeze your right glute, you can find that lift. Take an inhale here. And then drawing your right knee to your nose underneath your body. Exhale, again coming into a little bit of a cat. Inhale, come back to your pressing of your right sole of your foot to the sky. This is known as scorpion. Draw knee to nose, breath out. Inhale, scorpion. Knee to nose, exhale. And then coming back to tabletop. Now this time we'll take the right knee out towards the right. So I'll turn to face you. So for this one, hovering the right knee from the mat and then taking your right knee out to the right, we open up through our hip. And bit of a funny one, almost like a dog peeing on a tree. Nice. And then lower and hover your right knee from the mat. Take an inhale, open the knee to the right. Exhale, bring it back down through center, hover. One more time, inhale and notice if you can keep even weight through both hands. Come back down to tabletop. Moving on to the left side, left toes to the back of your mat. Left leg lifts to hip height. And then bending your left knee, press the sole of the foot to the sky. Take an inhale. And draw your left knee to your nose underneath your body, breathing out. Inhale, kick the sole of the foot up. Exhale, draw knee to nose. One more time, scorpion, inhale. Knee to nose, underneath belly, breath out. Come back to tabletop, both knees to the earth. And then setting up that even pressing of your hands down into the mat, hovering your left knee from the earth. Take an inhale as you open your left knee to the left. Exhale, hover from the mat. Inhale to open. Exhale, hover. Anyone else got any good clicks? Hip clicks. Open one more time. In. Hover and tabletop out. Tucking both toes underneath. Hover the knees from the earth. And then slowly we'll take about 4 steps to start to lengthen yourself out to plank. So taking wee footsteps backwards. We arrive in our high plank. So option to come to the knees here, otherwise keeping the knees lifted in high plank. Whichever option you're taking, really press through both hands. And then almost as if you're drawing your palms back without moving them, take your weight, your shoulders slightly forward over your wrists. Squeeze belly, squeeze glutes, nice adjustments. And then lower all the way down to the mat, keeping your elbows tucked in by your sides. Baby Cobra, so tops of your feet press into the earth, chest lifts up, shoulder blades squeeze together. Lower back down as you breathe out. Press back to child's position, draw hips to heels. Come up on into tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward dog. So in your downward dog, we'll take a few pedals out of your heels, dropping left heel, then right. A moment to arrive. Really nice. And then arriving in stillness in your down dog. Your feet are hip width apart. Slight bend in your knees is welcome. And then lifting your tailbone up to the sky. Beautiful. Take an inhale. Now we bend in your knees, exhale. And then press back to downward dog, breath in. Maybe dropping the heels slightly towards the mat as you breathe out. Your right leg lifts, take an inhale. Draw your knee to your nose and step between your hands at the top of your mat. An easy twist, your right hand peels open as your left hand plants down. We'll hold here for a breath, come back into that connection to each inhale, each exhale. We're taking a twist round to the right here. Take one more breath in and really straighten through the back of your left leg. Exhale, both hands come down to the mat, dropping your left knee down, arms reach up, low lunge, your Anjaneyasana. In your low lunge, squeezing left glute to drive left hip forward and up slightly. Take an inhale. Both hands come down to the mat, half split. So we move our hips back, straighten through your right leg. This one here known as half Hanuman, half splits. Your right toes are flexed and we're lengthening through the back of the right leg. Both hands can be on the mat here. We'll take 2 breaths. And slowing your breath down if possible, take an inhale deep into the belly. And slow and steady, we exhale. Taking your weight forward, frame your right foot, step forward to the top of your mat, fold forward. Halfway lift, spine long. And then folding on down to a forward fold as you breathe out. Make your way up to stand, hands reaching overhead. Hands come to heart center. Mountain pose, Tadasana, palms face the front of the room. Arms reach on up, breath in. Fold on down as you breathe out. Take a halfway lift, long spine. You can have a wee bend in your knees here and hands at your shin. And then both hands to the mat, right toes to the back of your mat. Right knee drops down, low lunge, arms reach up. Really nice, everyone. Welcome, Laura. Squeezing right glute, drive the right hip forward. And then both hands come down to the mat, half Hanuman, half splits, moving the hips back in space, straightening through the left leg, left toes flexed. We've got a few breaths here, so arriving in stillness when you can. And there's almost a sensation of pulling your left top of your thigh bone back in space, back into your hip socket to square off your hips. Take one more breath in. As you breathe out, come back into your low lunge, hands to frame your left foot, tuck the right toes, lift right knee, easy twist, left hand peels open, right hand down. Maybe taking your gaze up to the sky. And this one, can you almost stretch the skin on the back of your right knee to straighten the right leg, lifting it up towards the sky. Take an inhale. Both hands come down to the mat. Frame your left foot and really press into the ground. Create a doming of your spine. And then three-legged dog, left knee picks up and steps back. Downward dog, both feet to the mat. Take an inhale. For 3, we exhale. 3, 2, 1. Connect back to breath, breathing in for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, coming up onto the balls of your feet, heels lift. We bend in the knees, take your gaze forward, make your way to the top of your mat. A step, we hop or float. Half lift, long spine, inhale. Fold on down, exhale. Peel yourself up to stand, moving one vertebra at a time. Reach overhead, breath in. Hands come to heart center, palms to touch. Tadasana, mountain. We'll move through Surya Namaskar C, which is our sun salutation C. So moving with your breath, really slowing down each breath as possible and continuously coming back with your consciousness to those sensations, that texture of breath. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Fold forward as you breathe out and pull your palms down through your midline. Half lift, inhale. Hands to the mat, right toes step to the back of the mat, low lunge, right knee down, arms reach up. Hands frame left foot as you breathe out, step back to downward dog. Three-legged dog, right leg lifts, breathing in. Draw knee to nose, step between hands. Left knee drops down, arms reach up, inhale. Framing your right foot, breathing out, step forward, fold forward. Half lift, breath in. Fold on down, breath out. Peel yourself up to stand, inhale, arms reach overhead. And palms to touch in front of your heart center, Anjali Mudra. Tadasana, mountain, palms by your side. Inhale, arms reach up. Hands together, fold forward, squeeze belly to control the fold. Half lift in. Hands to the mat, left toes to the back of your mat. Left knee down, arms up, our low lunge. Hands frame your right foot and step back to down dog. Straight away, left leg lifts to a three-legged dog, breathing in. Knee to your nose, step between your hands. Right knee down, low lunge, arms up. Hands to frame left foot, step forward, fold forward. A halfway lift here as you breathe in. And fold on down, breathing out. Peel yourself up to stand, inhale. Hands meet at heart center and palms by your sides, Tadasana. Really nice, everyone. Arms reaching on overhead, breath in. Now we cactus of the arms as you breathe out, shoulder blades squeeze. Arms reach on up, inhale. And then taking your arms wide, swan dive down to the mat, exhale. Half lift, long spine. And pressing hands into the mat, step back to your downward dog. And we'll begin to move through our first wee round of flow, slow flow. So right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Draw your knee to your nose and step between your hands. Take an easy twist. Your right hand peels open. And both hands come back down to the mat. Crescent lunge, squeeze in the thighs and peel yourself up to a crescent lunge, a high lunge. In your crescent, again, come back to that same action of squeezing your glutes. So squeezing left glute forward. And take an inhale and reach your fingertips towards the sky. Arrowhead as we exhale. So we hinge forward. We're on a really straight angle from our heel all the way up our leg, through our torso. Your palms by your sides, shoulder blades squeeze together. And we've got a bit of a lift rather than sitting or lying on our right thigh. Take an inhale. Hold for your exhale. On your next inhale, warrior three. So we take our weight forward, 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 knee over toes with the right. And then we glide into warrior three. So our left leg comes to hip height. Our arms can be by our sides. In your warrior three, we're here for a moment, so find your balance. Both hips pointing down towards the earth. Take one more inhale. We hold for the exhale. Notice the steadiness that you can find as you press down through your right foot. Stag pose, left knee lifts to chest, hands to heart center. We hinge at the hips. And then both feet to the mat. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Feet are hip width apart and hips sink back. Take an inhale here. Fold forward as you breathe out. Halfway lift as your breath in. Hands to the mat, we step back to down dog, breath out. Left leg lifts to three-legged dog, inhale. And draw your knee to your nose and step between your hands as you breathe out. Easy twist, left hand peels open. Both hands to the mat, breathing out. Crescent lunge, arms reach on up to the sky. We pause here. So in your crescent, you're really lifted up high on the back of your right ball of your foot. Heel lifted high. And then from there, maybe you start to take the lunge a little deeper. Take an inhale, squeeze thighs together. Arrowhead as you exhale, straighten through your right leg. Arms moving in line with your body. Palms face the earth. And pinkies reach towards one another behind your hips. A slight tuck of your chin. Take an inhale. Straighten your right leg, exhale. On your next inhale, warrior three, left knee moves forward, 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 forward. Maybe a wee semi-step forward with your right toes and then lifting them up to warrior three. Right leg is at hip height. We've got a full round of breath here. Really nice, everyone. Don't worry if you've got the wobbles, welcome them. Take an inhale. Exhale. Right knee to stag. Lifting your knee up as you hinge at your hips and hands come to heart center. Both feet to the ground, chair pose, sink your hips back in space. Take an inhale and find a little lift of your chest. And then we fold forward, exhale. Half lift, inhale. Both hands to the mat, step back to your downward dog. We've got 2 breaths here, make them slow, make them steady. If you can, staying with stillness in your body. One more inhale and exhale. Heels lift, inhale. And bend in your knees as you breathe out, take your gaze forward. Step hop, maybe a wee jump to the top edge of your mat, forward fold. Half lift, inhale. Fold down, exhale. Chair pose, arms sweep by your sides and lift up as your hips sink down, breathing out. Take another breath in. And the exhale, lower your hips all the way down to the mat. Yes. Hips touch the earth and we come into boat. So squeeze core to find your balance. Take an inhale. We're moving into low boat as we breathe out. Extend the legs, torso starts to lengthen. Inhale, high boat. Exhale, we lower down. Inhale, high. One more time, lower down. We hold for 3, 2, 1. Lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Really nice. Bending both knees, placing the soles of your feet on the earth. And then from there, I'll cue you through 2 options. So option 1, we'll start by pressing your sole of your left foot down and then taking your right knee, lifting your right knee up to the sky. And taking your right hand around your right knee and then extending your left leg long. Right knee moves out to the right. So we're coming back into that opening of our hip. Cool, this is option 1. Option 2 is to come into a pistol grip of your right big toe. So your elbow is on the inner side of your right knee. And then pistol grip is our index finger and our middle finger is going to wrap around our big toe, thumb wraps around the outside. From there, extending the left leg and then kicking your right foot out to the right. So again, we come into that open hip sensation. Your left hand can be on your hip, whether you're in the knee or the big toe variation. And we're here for a few breaths, so really just feeling into what this shape feels like in your body. We'll take this one upright in a moment. So visualizing that you are standing on your left leg, press the left sole of the foot towards the top edge of your mat. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, start to come out of this one the same way we came in. So bending your knee, placing the sole of your right foot down. Both feet come to the earth. And we'll take this one on the other side. So right hand to hip. And then both options, it's your choice. So either taking your left knee up, grabbing a hold of the left knee with your left hand, or otherwise taking that pistol grip of your left big toe with your left index and middle finger. From there, straightening through your right leg, flex your right toes, and either kicking your left leg out towards the left, or taking your hip or taking your left knee over to the left. Either way, we're opening up through our hip. We've got 3 breaths here. One more inhale and exhale. We're making your way out of this one. Left knee bends, both soles of the feet on the earth. Drawing knees in towards your chest, give yourself a wee cuddle. And we'll take about 3 or 4 rock and rolls up and down your spine, making our way back into our chair, our Utkatasana. So get a bit of momentum. Yes, good. And then when you're ready, both feet at the top of your mat, swing back up into your chair. Nice work. So good. Take an inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, long spine. Fold on down, breath out. Peel yourself up to stand, arms reaching overhead. And fold forward as you draw your hands down through your midline, exhale. Half lift, long spine. Right toes to the back of your mat, exhale, right knee down, low lunge, arms reach up. Hands to frame your left foot, step back to downward dog. Right leg lifts to 3-legged. Draw your knee to your nose and step between your hands. Easy twist, keep the left knee lifted, right hand peels open. And both hands down, crescent lunge. Peel yourself up, arms reach towards the sky. Arrowhead as we breathe out, so hinging forward. Left leg straightens. Take an inhale and an exhale. Taking your right knee over your right toes, warrior three. Left leg glides to hip height. One breath in. Hold for the breath out. Right knee lifts to stag pose. Inhale. Nice, Carmel. And from here, we'll move through what we just did on the ground. So either grabbing a hold of your right knee with your right hand, left hand to hip. Otherwise, pistol gripping your right big toe. Press down through the left foot. And then either taking the knee out towards the right or kicking your right foot out towards the right. Having a little play. Whichever variation you're in, once you've arrived, see if you can play around with taking your left arm out towards the left, maybe taking your gaze over your left fingers. A wee bit of fun with our balance. Nice, everyone. Take an inhale. As you breathe out, coming back the same way we came in, so left hand to hip, both feet down to the earth, and we fold forward. Grabbing a hold of opposite elbows, let yourself hang with a really generous bend in your knees. And we sway from side to side. One more breath in and out, letting go of opposite elbows. Peel yourself up to stand, big inhale, arms reach up overhead. And fold down as you breathe out, drawing hands through midline. Half lift, inhale. Left toes to the back of your mat, low lunge, left knee down, arms reach up. Hands to frame your right foot, breathing out. Step back to downward dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Draw your knee to your nose, step between your hands. Easy twist, left hand peels open. Both hands come down to the mat, crescent lunge, peel yourself up. Arrowhead, exhale, come back to your breath, slow and steady. We're here for a full round in and out. Taking left knee forward, forward, forward. Warrior three, right leg glides up. On your next inhale, stag, right knee lifts to chest. And then we'll move through the same, are we on the same leg? Or are we on the other leg? We're doing the other leg to what we did on the first side. So if you are there, nice. Grabbing a hold of your knee or your big toe. And then taking your leg out. Pressing out. I think we should be pressing out to the left this time. Or kicking the sole of your foot out. We're here for a few breaths, have a little play, maybe taking your other arm out towards your side and then taking your gaze over your fingers. Nice, everyone, really good. One more breath in. And as you breathe out, start to make your way out of this one. Both feet down to the mat, fold forward. This time, interlacing your hands behind your head, your low part of your skull. Generous bend in your knees, and then you can have your hands clasped behind you and taking them up and over if that feels good. Otherwise, just a clasp of your hands behind your head and allowing yourself to hang. We give a wee release to our spine, our upper back. How's the rhythm of your breath here now? Now letting go of the bind. Both hands to the earth. Take a half lift. We inhale. Hands to the mat. Step back to downward dog. Breathing out. Take an inhale together for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Right leg lifts to three-legged dog. Inhale. Draw your knee to your nose. Step between your hands. Breath out. Straight away, crescent lunge this time. Peel yourself up to stand. Arrowhead, exhale. Moving slow and steady. Inhale, warrior 3. Glide yourself forward. Always in my little peace lily with my head here. Take an inhale, left knee lifts to stag. Now this time we'll move through figure 4. So taking your left ankle to your right thigh, and then we sink on back down, almost as if we are in our chair, but it's only single leg this time. Hands at heart center. Flexing your left toes. Take an inhale. Can you find a little more depth as you breathe out? One more full round of breath in. Slow out. Come back to stag, breathing in, left knee lifts. And both feet to the mat, fold forward, breath out. Inhale, half lift. Hands to the mat, step back to downward dog, breathing out. Left leg lifts, 3-leg inhale. Knee to your nose, step between your hands, exhale. Straight away, crescent lunge, peel yourself up to stand. Arrowhead, breathing out. Take your weight forward, warrior 3, inhale. Arrive and find balance as you exhale. Right knee lifts to stag, breath in. And right ankle comes onto left thigh, left top of your thigh. And we come into our figure 4, are we balanced? Hello, puppy. Take an inhale. Can you sink your hips a little deeper as you breathe out? Maybe bringing your forearms to your right shin. One more breath. On your next inhale, right knee lifts to stag. Ooh, wobbles. Both feet to the mat and fold forward. Half lift in. Hands to the mat, step back to downward dog. We're about to slow things down. Right leg lifts to 3-leg. Draw your knee to your nose and pause. We're going to move into pigeon. So taking your right knee out towards the right edge of your mat, your right ankle towards the left, coming down into your left knee. And then from there, we take our setup for pigeon. So squaring off both hips by drawing your inner thighs together. Yeah, nice. And then from there, we start to walk our hands forward. Hinging at the hips for this one. A bit of awareness on keeping your spine nice and long. So it's that lifting of your heart space, your chest. If you'd like to, shut down your eyes here. And coming back into your breath, keeping your awareness hooked into the moment right here. As we connect to our breath through a flow, using this as a method to keep us present. It's really the letting go of past and letting go of future thoughts and just focusing right now on something that's happening to us. Each inhale, each exhale. And the moment inside each breath. We'll take 3 more. Final breath in. Through the nose, out. Walking yourself back up to a straight spine. And then sitting onto your right hip, swinging your left knee around to meet the sole of your right foot. Nice. And then from there, extending your right leg out long, but keeping your left knee bent. Awesome. From there, we'll start to make our way backwards. So just tuning in just before we move anywhere, seeing how this feels for you with your left leg. Can be a little tight for people. Otherwise, it feels okay, starting to come down onto your forearms. Pausing there and squeezing your left glute to drive your left hip up and forward. And notice if you can find a sensation down the front of your left thigh. So we're giving ourselves a wee quad stretch. Stay here, or you can take yourself all the way down to the mat. Your back comes to lie flat. Knowing that all bodies are completely different. So just taking whichever variation feels right, whichever one is giving you that nice stretching sensation in the front of your left thigh, but not going past your own edge point. Keeping ourselves nice and safe. We've got 2 breaths here. Continue with that squeezing of left glute. Sometimes I wriggle my hand underneath my left butt cheek and give it a wee lift up. One more inhale. And exhale. If you're lying flat, coming back up onto your forearms. And then everyone together, hands press into the earth to take yourself back to a straight spine. From there, taking your left leg around in front of you. Arms reaching on up overhead. Hinge forward as you breathe out. We've just got 2 breaths here. We flexing of both feet. One more inhale. And through the nose, exhale. And walking yourself back up to a straight spine, crossing the legs, and then we roll over our knees and come back into down dog. So a bit of a shuffle on our mat. And take that on the other side. When you're ready, left leg lifts to 3-legged. Draw your knee to your nose. And then taking your left knee towards the left edge of your mat, right, left ankle towards right. Before you start to hinge forward, find that squaring off of both hips. If you've got anything to lift up your left glute or left hips, you can place a block or books if they're feeling a little bit tight. And then from there, we start to walk our hands forward. And coming into our half pigeon. We've got 5 breaths here, so shutting down the eyes. I'm using this as a moment for meditation. And breathing in through your nose and out. And we'll take 1 more, make it long, juicy breath into the belly. And exhale through the nose. And starting to walk yourself back up to a straight spine. And taking your hips down to the mat on the left, and then swinging your right knee round to meet your left sole of your foot. And then from there, extending your left leg long, but our right knee stays bent so that our right heel is beside our right glute or our right hip. And from there, walking yourself back onto your forearms. Find that lifting up of your right hip towards the sky. It's almost on a bit of an angle. And we come into our quad stretch all the way down the front of our right thigh. Option to make your way flat onto the mat, coming off the forearms and lowering your spine. Maybe wriggling your right hand underneath your right glute and then giving yourself a wee lift by almost creating a wee tent with your hand. Two more breaths here. One more inhale. And exhale, removing the right hand from underneath you, coming back up onto your forearms if you are lying flat. And then pressing the palms into the earth behind you, coming up to a straight spine, releasing the right knee, so extending both legs long. Removing the tissue of your butt cheeks out from underneath you, and we wriggle from side to side. Take your hands up to the sky, breathing in. And this time we're making our way back onto our mat, flat on our back. So squeeze your core as you start to unravel yourself all the way down. Hands coming to rest beside you. As you arrive flat, a slight tuck of your chin towards your chest to find length through the back of your neck. And then taking your right knee in towards your chest, give yourself a wee hug. And we'll take our right knee over towards the left. So this one here, we take right knee drops over towards the left edge of our mat, and then taking your right arm out towards the right. Your gaze over your right fingertips, and just taking a wee check in that your right arm or your right hand and elbow is at the same height as your shoulder. From there, pressing both shoulder blades down into the mat. We find a twist all the way down the length of our spine. Two breaths here. One more inhale. As you breathe out, coming back through center, release the twist. And then extending right leg long, left knee hugs in towards your chest. Rolling over towards the right, left knee drops. And then taking your gaze to the left as you extend your left arm at shoulder height. Really pressing both shoulder blades down so that that twist is coming from your upper back rather than your lower. Not worrying if your left knee is lifted from the earth, mine is. One more breath in. Make it long and slow on the out. Making your way back through center as you breathe in. And giving your knees a wee hug in towards your chest, wrapping both arms around your shins, drawing your forehead in towards your knees, and give yourself a wee cuddle. When you're ready, making your way out into a Shavasana, legs come long, arms wide. And if you'd like to place anything over your eyes, as we've still got a bit of daylight here, feel free to do so. And releasing any remaining tension from your muscles, maybe taking a wee scan. Letting your bones be heavy on the mat. If you'd like to finish the class with a small meditation, continue with that focus on each breath, your Anapanasati. Otherwise, you're welcome to let go of any control of breath and allow yourself to come into a place of full surrender. We arrive in stillness. If you would like to stay in your Shavasana a little longer, please feel free to mute me. You can stay here for as long as you need. Otherwise, when you're ready to bring your awareness back into your body, your breath, start to create some deeper breaths, some micro movements of your fingers and your toes. Rolling over to your right side, pausing there. Guiding yourself up to a seat with a straight spine. Keeping your eyes shut or your gaze down low. And taking your hands to your heart center, both palms to touch. And together we take a full breath in. As you exhale, a gentle press in of your thumb tips to your sternum. Sternum lifts into thumb tips. A moment to thank yourself for taking the time out of your day to arrive on your mat and move through a practice of asana, of yoga. Knowing that whenever you need, you can come into this practice of staying present with your breath. And together we inhale And bowing your head toward your hands, invitation to close the practice by saying namaste.